You're going to pay for your father's sins, Damien said quietly. Every moment of pain he caused me, I'm going to take out on you. Every broken promise, every betrayal, every night I spent hating him. You're going to feel all of it. That's not fair. My voice cracked. I didn't do anything to you. Life isn't fair, Elijah. His thumb brushed across my cheekbone, almost tender. You're about to learn that very thoroughly. Hey, welcome to Cozy BL Corner. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It really encourages my work and helps me bring you more stories. Now, sit back, relax, and enjoy today's story. I stood on the auction platform wearing nothing but white silk. Virgin sacrifice, they called me. Like I was livestock, like I was nothing. The room was full of alphas. Their scents mixed together. Heavy, suffocating, hungry. Lot 17, the auctioneer announced. His voice echoed through the warehouse. 19 years old, male, Omega, unmated, certified virgin, son of the late Richard Ashford. Starting bid, $100,000. Hands went up immediately. I searched the crowd for a kind face, for someone who might not hurt me, but all I saw were predators. My father had died 3 months ago. Heart attack. Left me with nothing but debts. Debts to people who didn't forgive. Debts to people who took payment in flesh when money wasn't available. So here I was, being sold to the highest bidder. 500,000, 750,000, 1 million. The numbers climbed higher. Each bid felt like a nail in my coffin. I try not to shake, try not to cry, try not to show how terrified I was. But I was 19 years old. I'd never been touched, never been kissed, and I was about to be bought by a stranger who would own me completely. $5 million. The room went silent. That voice, it came from the back. Cold, commanding, absolute. I watched as the crowd parted, and a man walked forward. He was tall, broad shoulders in a black suit that screamed expensive. Dark hair, sharp jaw, eyes so cold they looked like winter itself. He couldn't have been more than 35, but he carried himself like someone who'd seen lifetimes. His scent hit me even from a distance. Pine and smoke, dark and overwhelming. It made my Omega instinct scream. Danger, predator, alpha. But there was something else underneath, something that felt almost like recognition. Anyone else? The auctioneer asked. His voice shook slightly. No one moved. No one spoke. The alpha reached the platform, looked up at me with those winter eyes, and smiled. It wasn't a kind smile. It was sharp, cruel, satisfied, like he'd just won something he'd been hunting for years. Sold, the auctioneer said quickly. Lot 17 to Damien Cross for $5 million. Damien Cross. Even I knew that name. Everyone did. Head of the Cross crime family. Ruthless, brilliant, untouchable. A man who destroyed anyone who crossed him. And he just bought me. Come here, Damien said. His voice was quiet, but carried command that made my body move before my brain could catch up. I climbed down from the platform. My legs shook. The moment my feet touched the ground, his hand wrapped around the back of my neck. Possessive, claiming. You're mine now, he said. Close enough that only I could hear. Every breath, every heartbeat, every moment of fear. All mine. I couldn't speak, could barely breathe. His hand tightened. What's your name? Elijah, I whispered. Elijah Ashford. Something flickered in his expression. Dark, satisfied, almost like he'd been waiting to hear that name. Ashford, he repeated, like he was tasting it. Richard Ashford's son. Yes, sir. His smile widened. Perfect, absolutely perfect. He pulled me toward the exit, his hand never leaving my neck, claiming me in front of everyone. The car was sleek, black, windows tinted so dark I couldn't see inside. Damien opened the door, pushed me in gently but firmly. I slid across the leather seat. He followed. The door closed with a soft click that sounded like a prison lock. The driver pulled away from the warehouse, into the night, away from everything I'd ever known. Do you know why I bought you? Damien asked. I shook my head. Your father and I have history. His hand rested on my thigh. Not sexual, just possessive. A long history, one that ended very badly. My stomach dropped. What kind of history? The kind where he betrayed me. Damien's voice went cold, flat, The kind where he took everything I offered him and threw it back in my face. The kind where he chose money and status over other things. Other things. The way he said it made something click. You and my father were lovers. He said it simply. For 3 years. I was 22. He was 25. I loved him more than I'd loved anything in my life. I would have given him everything. His hand tightened on my thigh. But your father wanted more than I could give him at the time. I was still building my empire. Still fighting for control. I had money, but not the kind he wanted. Not the kind that came with mansions and society events, and a perfect Omega wife who'd give him perfect alpha children. My breath caught. So he left me, Damien continued. His voice was emotionless now. Dead. Married your mother. Elena Hartwell. Old money. Perfect pedigree. Everything I wasn't. I didn't know, I whispered. Of course you didn't. Richard made sure of that. Made sure no one knew about his past with a male alpha. About the 3 years he spent in my bed. About the promises he made me. His hand moved higher on my thigh. Possessive. Claiming. But I never forgot. I spent 13 years building my empire. Getting richer. More powerful. More dangerous. Waiting for the perfect moment to make him pay. Tears burned behind my eyes. And now he's dead. So you bought me instead. Yes. His smile was sharp. Cruel. I bought his son. His Omega son. The one thing he'd be most ashamed of if he were alive to see it. The ultimate betrayal of everything he stood for. But he's dead, I said again. He can't see this. Can't feel it. I know. Damien's hand cupped my face. Forced me to look at him. But you can. And that's almost as satisfying. The words hit like a physical blow. You're going to pay for your father's sins, Damien said quietly. Every moment of pain he caused me, I'm going to take out on you. Every broken promise. Every betrayal. Every night I spent hating him. You're going to feel all of it. That's not fair. My voice cracked. I didn't do anything to you. Life isn't fair, Elijah. His thumb brushed across my cheekbone. Almost tender. You're about to learn that very thoroughly. The car pulled up to a building that looked like it belonged in a magazine. All glass and steel and money. Damien's penthouse was on the top floor. He let me inside, his hand never leaving my neck, claiming me with every touch. The space was massive, minimalist, cold, everything in blacks and grays and whites. It looked like no one actually lived here, like it was a showroom. This is your home now, Damien said. You'll live here, sleep here, exist here. You don't leave without my permission. You don't speak to anyone without my permission. You don't do anything without my permission. Understand? Each word was a chain. Yes, sir. Good. He released my neck, walked to a bar cart, poured himself something dark. Strip. My blood went cold. What? You heard me. Strip. I want to see what I bought. Please. That wasn't a request. His voice went hard. You're mine now, Elijah. I own you. That means I get to do whatever I want with you, including looking at you naked whenever I choose. Tears slid down my face, but I started unbuttoning my shirt. What choice did I have? The white silk they'd dressed me in for the auction fell to the floor, piece by piece, until I was standing there completely naked, completely exposed. Damien's eyes swept over me, slow, assessing. Your father was beautiful too, he said, when he was young, before life made him cruel. You look like him. Same eyes, same bone structure, same delicate Omega features. His hand reached out, traced down my chest, over my ribs, down to my hip. But you're softer than he was, more innocent, untouched. His fingers tightened on my hip. That's going to make breaking you so much more satisfying. Please don't do this, I whispered. Why not? Your father broke me. Seems only fair I break his son in return. I'm not my father. No. His hand moved to my face. You're better than him. Pure. Which makes you the perfect canvas for my revenge. He pulled me closer. His mouth inches from mine. I'm going to ruin you, Elijah Ashford. I'm going to take every innocent part of you and corrupt it. I'm going to make you beg. Make you cry. Make you hate your father for what he did to deserve this. His lips brushed mine. Not quite a kiss. Just a promise. And when I'm done, when there's nothing left of the innocent boy I bought tonight, maybe then I'll finally feel satisfied. He released me. Step back. Go to the bedroom. Second door on the left. Wait for me on the bed. Don't cover yourself. I want you exactly as you are now when I come in. Are you going to? I couldn't finish. Tonight? No. Tonight, I just want to look at you. Touch you. Learn what makes you flinch. His smile was cruel. I'm going to take my time breaking you, Elijah. Rushing would ruin the satisfaction. I ran. Found the bedroom. It was as cold and minimal as the rest of the penthouse. I climbed onto the bed, lay there naked and shaking. Waiting. Minutes felt like hours. When Damien finally entered, he'd removed his jacket. His shirt was unbuttoned at the collar. He looked at me like I was a puzzle he was trying to solve. Beautiful, he murmured. Your father must have been so proud. His perfect Omega son. So innocent. So pure. He sat on the edge of the bed. His hand traced patterns on my skin. Did he love you? Damien asked. The question caught me off guard. What? Your father. Did he love you? I didn't know how to answer that. My father had been distant. Cold. He'd provided for me, but never showed affection. I don't know, I admitted. He didn't. Damien's voice was certain. Richard Ashford didn't know how to love anyone except himself. He certainly didn't love your mother. Their marriage was a transaction. She got his name. He got her money. His hand slid higher, to my chest, over my heart. And he didn't love you, because if he had, he would have made sure you were protected after he died. He would have made sure you didn't end up on an auction block being sold to the highest bidder. The words hurt because they were true. But I'm going to give you something he never did, Damien continued. His hand pressed harder. I'm going to make you feel. Pain, yes. Fear, absolutely. But you'll feel so intensely that you'll never be numb again. Never be invisible again. Never wonder if you matter. Because I matter to your revenge. Yes. He leaned down, his mouth against my ear. You matter very much to my revenge. Which means you matter to me. In a twisted, fucked up way. But you matter. He pulled back, looked at me with those winter eyes. Get some sleep, Elijah. Tomorrow, your real education begins. He left. The door closed. I heard a lock click, and I was alone in my beautiful cage. The first week was psychological torture. Damien didn't touch me sexually, didn't hurt me physically, but he broke me down in other ways. Every morning, he'd wake me at dawn, make me kneel beside his bed while he got ready. Watch him dress. Watch him prepare for his day. You're learning your place, he'd say. On your knees, waiting for my attention. This is where you belong. Breakfast was the same. I had to kneel beside his chair. He'd feed me from his fingers. Like a pet. Open, he'd command. And I'd open my mouth. Let him place food on my tongue. Good boy, he'd murmur. And I hated how that praise made something in my chest warm. During the day, he'd take me to his office. Make me sit in the corner while he worked. Silent. Still. Invisible unless he needed something. You exist for me, he'd say. When I need you, you appear. When I don't, you disappear. Learn that rhythm. Evenings were worse. He'd have me undress, lie on his bed, and he'd touch me. Everywhere. Learning my body. Finding every sensitive spot. Every place that made me gasp. But he never did more than touch. Never took it further. I'm teaching your body to respond to me, he'd explain. His fingers doing things that made me shake. Training it to crave my touch. So that when I finally take you, your body will welcome it even if your mind doesn't. I'll never want this, I'd whisper. Your body already does. And he'd prove it, over and over, until I was gasping and shaking and hating myself for responding. Every night, he'd make me sleep in his bed, pressed against him, his arm around me, possessive even in sleep. You're mine, he'd murmur in the darkness. Every breath, every heartbeat, mine. And I'd lie there, trapped, hating him, hating my father for making this necessary, hating myself for not being strong enough to fight back. Week 2, he escalated. I woke to find his hand between my legs, touching me intimately. Don't move, he commanded. I want to watch you wake up to this. I tried to stay still, tried not to react, but my body betrayed me. That's it, he murmured. Let yourself feel it. Stop fighting. When I couldn't hold back anymore, when my body gave him exactly what he wanted, he pulled away, left me shaking and humiliated and wanting more even though I hated that I wanted it. You're learning, he said. Your body is accepting me. Soon your mind will follow. That afternoon, he had visitors. business associates, dangerous men in expensive suits. He made me kneel at his feet during the entire meeting, his hand in my hair, petting me like a dog. "This is Elijah," he told them. "Richard Ashford's son. My property now." The men looked at me with pity, or hunger, or disgust. I kept my eyes down, played the role he'd forced on me. "Beautiful Omega," one man said. "Must have cost a fortune." "5 million," Damien replied, his hand tightening in my hair. "Worth every penny. Revenge is always expensive." "Revenge." Another man's voice was curious. "His father betrayed me years ago. This is payment." Damien's hand slid to my neck. Possessive, taking his innocent son and breaking him piece by piece, making him pay for sins he didn't commit. "Cruel," the first man observed. "Yes." Damien's smile was sharp, but satisfying. After they left, I finally spoke. "You told them. About the revenge. About my father." "I did." "Doesn't that ruin it?" "If everyone knows, it makes it better." He pulled me to my feet. "Your father's friends, his business associates, everyone in his old circles. They'll all know what happened to his precious son. They'll all know he failed to protect you, failed to provide for you, failed to keep you safe. He's dead. He can't hear them talking about it." "No." Damien's hand cupped my face. "But you can. You'll carry that shame. That knowledge that everyone knows you were sold like property to your father's ex-lover for revenge. And that shame will be your burden forever." Tears slid down my face. "Why are you crying?" he asked, almost gently. "Because it's not fair. I didn't ask to be born. Didn't ask to be his son. Didn't ask for any of this." "I know." His thumb brushed away a tear. "Life is cruel like that, punishing children for their father's sins. But that's the world we live in." He pulled me against his chest, held me while I cried. And that was somehow worse than the cruelty, because it made me want to lean into him, want to accept the comfort, even though he was the one causing the pain. Week 3, everything shifted. Damien came home late, covered in blood. Not his blood, someone else's. I was in the kitchen making tea like he'd taught me. Turned and saw him standing there. My hand shook. The cup slipped, shattered on the marble floor. "I'm sorry," I gasped. "I didn't mean." "Come here." I stepped over the broken glass, went to him. His hand caught my wrist. "Pull me close." "I killed a man tonight," he said. His voice was empty. "Someone who betrayed the family." I slit his throat, watched him bleed out. My stomach turned. And you know what I felt? His eyes locked on mine. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just like when I look at you. Beautiful. Innocent. Perfect. And I feel nothing. His grip tightened on my wrist. "Your father did that to me. Killed every soft part of me. Left me empty. And I've been empty for 13 years. "I'm sorry," I whispered. "Don't be sorry for him. Be sorry for yourself." He released my wrist. "Because I was hoping breaking you would make me feel something. Hoping your pain would fill the emptiness. But it hasn't worked." He walked past me, toward the bathroom, cleaned up the glass. "Then come to my room." I cleaned, my hand still shaking. Then went to his bedroom. He was in the shower. I could hear the water running. When he came out, he was wearing only a towel. His body was scarred. Evidence of a life lived violently. "Strip," he said. I'd stopped arguing. Just obeyed. When I was naked, he pointed to the bed. "Lie down." I did. He dropped the towel, climbed over me. This was it. This was when he'd finally take what he'd been building toward for 3 weeks. But he didn't. He just lay beside me, pulled me against his chest, held me. "Your father used to hold me like this," he said quietly. After, he'd tell me he loved me, that we'd be together forever. That money and status didn't matter as long as we had each other. His arms tightened around me. I believed him. I was young and stupid and in love. And I believed every lie. "What happened?" I asked. "When he left, I fell apart. Completely. Stopped eating. Stopped sleeping. Wanted to die." His voice was flat, emotionless. "My father found me with a gun in my mouth. Talked me down. Told me to channel the pain into power. And you did." I did. Spent 13 years building an empire. Getting rich. Getting dangerous. Waiting for the moment I could make Richard pay. His hand slid into my hair. But he died before I could touch him. Heart attack. Quick. Painless. He escaped my revenge completely. "So you bought me instead." "Yes." He pressed his face into my neck. Inhale my scent. I bought his son. Thought breaking you would satisfy the need for revenge. Thought your pain would fill the emptiness. But it hasn't. No. His arms tightened almost desperately. It hasn't. You suffer. You cry. You break piece by piece. And I still feel nothing except. He stopped. Except what? Except when you cry, he admitted. When you break down, when you show me real pain, then I feel something, not satisfaction, not revenge, something else, something worse. What? Guilt. The word came out broken. I feel guilty for hurting someone who doesn't deserve it, for punishing you for sins that aren't yours, for being exactly like your father, cruel and selfish and willing to destroy someone innocent for my own gain. I turned in his arms, looked at his face. He looked tired, haunted, human. You're not like my father, I said quietly. How do you know? You didn't know him. No, but I know you, and you feel guilty. My father never felt guilty about anything. Something cracked in his expression. I don't know how to stop, he whispered. I've spent 13 years planning this revenge. It's the only thing that kept me going, the only purpose I had. And now it's not working. You're not making me feel better. You're making me feel worse. His hand cupped my face. But I can't let you go. Can't give up this revenge. Because then what do I have? What's left after I've built my entire existence around hating one man? We lay there, two broken people, trapped by choices neither of us had made. You could try feeling something else, I offered. Something other than revenge or emptiness. Like what? I didn't have an answer. Didn't know what to offer him. So I just pressed closer. Let him hold me. Let him pretend for a moment that this was something other than what it was. Wow, you made it this far. If you're enjoying the story and still haven't subscribed, please take a second to do so. It means a lot. Also, drop a comment and let us know where you're listening from. All right, let's get back to the story. Week 4, Damien received a package. It arrived at breakfast. He opened it while I knelt beside his chair, fed me absent-mindedly while he read the contents. His entire body went rigid. What is it? I asked. He didn't answer, just stared at the papers in his hands. Then slowly, he turned to look at me. His expression was strange, unreadable. Did you know? His voice was quiet, dangerous. Know what? He threw the papers at me. That. I picked them up, started reading. They were medical records. My father's medical records. From 15 years ago. Genetic testing results. My blood went cold. According to the documents, my father had been told at age 27 that he was sterile. A childhood illness had left him unable to have biological children, which meant, "You're not his son," Damien said. His voice was still quiet. "Richard Ashford wasn't your biological father." The words didn't make sense. But my mother had an affair, got pregnant, convinced Richard it was his through some miracle. He believed her because he wanted to. Damien stood, crossed to where I was kneeling. "You're not Richard Ashford's son, Elijah." Which means my entire revenge has been based on a lie. I couldn't breathe, couldn't think. Everything I knew about myself was fracturing. Then who? Does it matter? Damien's hand fisted in my hair. You grew up as his son. He raised you, claimed you. That's what counts. But his voice sounded uncertain, like he was trying to convince himself. Except it does matter, I said, looking up at him. Because your revenge was about hurting his blood, punishing his son for his sins. But I'm not his son. I'm just someone he raised. That changes everything. Damien's jaw clenched. It changes nothing. You still carry his name. Still benefited from being called his son. Did I? My voice rose. He was cold, distant, never showed me affection. Maybe because he knew. Maybe because every time he looked at me, he saw my mother's betrayal. Stop. Maybe that's why he didn't protect me. Why he let me end up on that auction block. Because I wasn't actually his. Because he didn't care what happened to me after he died. Stop. Damien's grip tightened. This doesn't change anything. It changes everything. Tears were streaming down my face. Your revenge doesn't work if I'm not his son. All of this, all the pain, all the breaking, all of it, it was for nothing. Damien pulled me to my feet, slammed me against the wall. It wasn't for nothing, he snarled. You still represent everything he had, everything he chose over me. The perfect family, the perfect Omega child. The perfect life I could never give him. But it was all a lie. I sobbed. His perfect life was built on his wife's affair. His perfect son wasn't his at all. He didn't get what he wanted. He got betrayed just like you did. The words hung between us. Damien's expression did something complicated. Anger, confusion, and underneath, pain. He was betrayed. He repeated slowly. Yes, by the woman he left me for. Yes, the perfect Omega wife who was supposed to give him everything I couldn't. Yes. Damien released me. Stepped back. For a long moment, he just stood there, processing. Then he started laughing. Not happy laughter. Bitter. Broken. He was betrayed. Damien said through the laughter. Richard Ashford was betrayed. The irony is beautiful. He looked at me. His eyes were strange. Wild. Do you know what this means? I shook my head. It means he didn't win. He left me for a perfect life that didn't exist. He sacrificed our love for a lie. Damien's hand came to my face. He lost everything, just like I did. So your revenge worked? I whispered. Just not the way you planned. No. His thumb brushed across my cheekbone. My revenge didn't work at all, because hurting you doesn't hurt him. It never did. You're not his blood. You're just. He stopped, stared at me. You're just you, he finished quietly. An innocent person I've been torturing for a month for sins that aren't even connected to you. The weight of that realization seemed to crush him. He pulled me into his arms, held me so tight I could barely breathe. I'm sorry, he whispered. God, Elijah, I'm so sorry. I didn't know what to say. Didn't know how to process any of this. I need to find out who your real father is, Damien said. The man who actually... No. I pulled back. I don't want to know. Whoever he was, he didn't claim me. Didn't raise me. He's nothing to me. But my father was Richard Ashford. Even if we didn't share blood. He was the one who raised me. Who named me? Who? My voice broke. Who failed to protect me? Damien's expression softened. You're right. Biology doesn't make a father. No. Choices do. And he chose not to make sure I was safe after he died. We stood there, the truth settling over us like ash. What happens now? I asked. Damien looked at me for a long moment. I don't know. My revenge is meaningless. You're not who I thought you were. This whole thing, he gestured around us. It doesn't make sense anymore. So you'll let me go? His arms tightened around me. I should, but I don't want to. Why not? Because somewhere in the past month, between the cruelty and the breaking and the revenge that didn't work, he stopped. Looked away. Started what? Caring about you. His voice was quiet. Not as Richard's son. Not as a tool for revenge. Just as you. As Elijah. My heart did something painful in my chest. I know that's fucked up, he continued. I know you have every reason to hate me. I've tortured you. Broken you. Treated you like property. But what? He looked at me. And for the first time since I'd met him, his eyes weren't cold. They were vulnerable. Afraid. But I don't know how to let you go. And I don't know if I want to learn. I should have run. Should have demanded my freedom. Should have hated him for everything he'd done. But I didn't. Because somewhere in the past month, between the pain and the fear and the breaking, something had shifted. I'd started to see him. Not as my captor. Not as my tormentor. But as someone broken, trying to heal in the worst possible way. I don't know if I can forgive you, I said honestly. I know. I don't know if I can trust you. I know. I don't know if this can ever be anything except what it is right now. I know. His hand cupped my face. But can we try? Can we? Can we start over? Not as revenge. Not as owner and property. Just as two people trying to figure out what this could be. I don't know how. Neither do I. His forehead pressed against mine. But I want to try. I want to give you the choice I never gave you before. Stay or go. It's your decision. I won't force you either way. The offer should have been easy. Freedom. Escape. Everything I'd wanted for weeks. But it wasn't easy, because leaving meant never knowing. Never seeing if this could become something real. Can I think about it? I whispered. Take all the time you need. He released me. Step back. I'll sleep in the guest room tonight. Give you space. And tomorrow, you can tell me what you've decided. He left, and I was alone for the first time in a month. I could leave, pack what little I had, walk out the door, start over somewhere new. Or I could stay, risk getting hurt worse, risk believing this could be something other than what it had been. I spent the whole night thinking, weighing, trying to decide. By morning, I knew my answer. Damien was in the kitchen, making coffee. He looked like he hadn't slept. "I'm staying," I said. His hand froze mid-pour. "What?" "I'm staying. Not because I have to, because I'm choosing to." He set down a coffee pot, crossed to me in 3 strides. "What?" "Because I think you're broken," I said honestly. "And I think I'm broken too. And maybe 2 broken people can figure out how to be less broken together." His hand came to my face, trembling. "I don't deserve this. Don't deserve you." "Probably not." I managed a small smile. "But I'm staying anyway." He kissed me then, not like before. Not possessive or cruel or demanding. This kiss was soft, gentle, asking instead of taking. And I kissed him back. Because despite everything, despite the pain and the fear and the breaking, I wanted this. Wanted him. "We start over," he said against my lips. "From today. Everything before this moment, we leave it behind." Can we do that? I don't know. But we can try. The next few weeks were strange. Different. Damien stopped giving me commands. Started asking instead. "Would you like coffee? Do you want to watch a movie? Can I hold you tonight?" Every question was a gift. Every choice I made reinforced that I wasn't property anymore. We talked, really talked, about his past with my father, about my childhood, about the emptiness he'd carried for 13 years. "I don't know how to do this," he admitted one night. We were on the couch, his arm around me. Normal relationships, healthy ones. "I only know how to take and control and possess. Then we'll learn together. What if I mess up? What if I slip back into? Then we'll deal with it. Together." His arms tightened around me. "I don't deserve this. Don't deserve you being this patient. Maybe not, but I'm choosing to give it anyway." Month 3 brought complications. A letter arrived. From a lawyer. Inside were more documents. Another truth that would change everything. I read them twice. 3 times. Trying to make sense of what I was seeing. When Damien came home, I was still sitting with the papers. "What's wrong?" He sat beside me, concern in his voice. "I found out who my biological father is." His entire body went still. "Who?" I looked at him. At this man who'd bought me for revenge. Who'd broken me and put me back together. Who'd become everything to me. My mother had an affair with Richard's business partner, Daniel Cross. The name hung between us. "Cross," Damien repeated. "Daniel Cross. Your uncle." His face went white. "That's not possible." "It is. The DNA doesn't lie." I showed him the documents. My biological father was Daniel Cross. "Which makes you your cousin." Damien's voice was hollow. "We're cousins." The silence was deafening. "Daniel died 7 years ago," Damien said, his voice distant. "Car accident. He was my father's younger brother. I didn't know he stopped. Looked at me. That he'd had an affair with Elena Ashford. Neither did anyone else, apparently. My mother took the secret to her grave. Died when I was 12. I set down the papers with shaking hands. She never told anyone. Not Richard. Not Daniel. Not me. Damien stood, paced to the window. His shoulders were rigid. "This changes everything," he said. "Does it? We're blood, Elijah. Family. I bought you. Used you. Broke you. And we're family. Distant cousins," I corrected quietly. "Not siblings. Not. It doesn't matter how distant." He turned to face me. His expression was devastated. I tortured my own family for revenge that didn't even apply. I took my uncle's son, and his voice broke. "God, what kind of monster does that make me?" I stood, crossed to him. The kind who was broken by someone he loved. The kind who spent 13 years planning revenge against a ghost. The kind who's human, Damien. Don't defend me. His hands fisted at his sides. "I don't deserve it. Maybe not. But you're getting it anyway." I touched his face. Made him look at me. "This doesn't change what we've become. It doesn't change that I chose to stay. You didn't know we were family when you chose. And I'm still choosing now." I stepped closer. "We're not the first cousins to be together. It's legal. It's wrong." But his voice was uncertain. "After everything I've done to you, after everything, I'm still here." My hands cupped his face. "I'm still choosing you. Does that count for nothing?" His expression cracked. "It counts for everything. That's what makes it worse." He pulled me into his arms, Held me like I might disappear. I don't know how to process this, he admitted. Don't know how to reconcile what I did with what you are to me now. Then we figured out. Together. Like everything else. His grip tightened. What if this is too much? What if we can't? We will. I pulled back. Looked at him. Because I love you. And you love me. And that has to be enough. The words hung between us. First time either of us had said them. You love me. His voice was barely a whisper. After everything? Yes. I'm fucked up and broken and probably insane. But yes, I love you. His eyes filled with tears. I love you too. Have for weeks. Didn't know how to say it. Didn't think I deserved to feel it. You don't get to decide what you deserve. I kissed him softly. You just get to accept what I'm giving you. He kissed me back. Desperate. Grateful. Afraid. We're gonna make this work? I whispered against his lips. We're gonna figure out how to be us. Family or not. Broken or not. We're gonna be okay. How can you be sure? Because I've survived everything else. This is just one more impossible thing. I smiled. And I'm getting good at impossible things. His laugh was wet. Broken. God, Elijah. What did I do to deserve you? You bought me at an auction for revenge. Pretty romantic origin story. I got a real laugh. Only you would think that's romantic. Only you would make it romantic anyway. We stood there. Two people who'd found each other in the worst possible way. Related by blood. Connected by choice. Broken and healing together. What do we do now? Damien asked. Now? I smiled. Now we live. We figure out how to be together. How to build something real. And the family connection? We deal with it. Or we don't. It's just biology. What matters is this. I placed his hand over my heart. What we choose. What we build. What we become. His hand pressed harder. Feeling my heartbeat. I'm never letting you go, he said. Choice or not. Family or not. You're mine. And you're mine. I grinned. Which means you're stuck with me. Forever. Forever sounds perfect. Month 6 brought more revelations. We were going through Daniel's old belongings. Damien's father had kept them in storage after Daniel died. That's when we found the letters. Letters from Daniel to my mother. Years of them. Secret correspondence spanning 15 years. I read them with shaking hands. Daniel had loved my mother. Truly loved her. But she was married. And he was Damien Cross, from a crime family. Dangerous. Inappropriate. They'd had an affair that lasted 3 years. I was born from that affair. But then Daniel's wife got pregnant. His legitimate child. And he'd ended things with my mother. Told her he couldn't leave his wife. Couldn't claim me. Couldn't be part of my life. My mother had accepted it. Raised me as Richard's son. Never told anyone the truth. And Daniel had watched from distance. The letters mentioned it. Mentioned seeing me at school events. At parks. Growing up without knowing who he really was. He loved you, Damien said quietly, reading over my shoulder. He watched you. Wanted to be part of your life, but couldn't. But he never claimed me. My voice was bitter. Never told anyone. Let me grow up thinking Richard was my father. Richard was your father. In all the ways that mattered. Damien's hand came to my shoulder. Daniel gave you biology. Richard gave you a name. A home. A life. A life where I ended up on an auction block. That wasn't Richard's fault. His debts were his responsibility, and he left them for me to pay. I set down the letters. Both of my fathers failed me. The biological one who never claimed me. The one who raised me who never protected me. Damien turned me to face him. They both failed you. But I won't. Not again. Never again. You already did. You bought me. Used me. I know. And I'll spend the rest of my life making up for it. His hands framed my face. But I'm here now, and I'm not leaving. And I'm going to give you everything they didn't. Safety, love, choice, everything. Tears slid down my face. Promise. I promise. He kissed my forehead, my cheeks, my lips. I promise, Elijah. You're mine, and I take care of what's mine. Not as property. No, as family, as lover. As everything you are to me. We burned the letters that night. Let go of Daniel's secret love. Let go of the past that had shaped us both. And moved forward. Together. Month 8, Damien proposed. Not with a ring. Not with romance. Just a simple question over breakfast. Marry me. I looked up from my coffee. What? Marry me. Make this official. Legal. Permanent. We're cousins. That's legal in this state. I checked. He set down his fork. I want you to be mine. Not because I own you. Because you choose me. I want it official. Documented. Real. My heart was pounding. That's not a very romantic proposal. I'm not a romantic man. But his eyes were soft. Vulnerable. I'm a criminal who bought you at an auction and fell in love with you despite every reason not to. Romance isn't my strong suit. I laughed. Couldn't help it. That's the worst proposal I've ever heard. Is that a no? It's a yes, you idiot. I stood, crossed him, climbed into his lap. Yes, I'll marry you. Make this permanent. Official. Real. His arms came around me. Tight. Possessive. But different than before. This was love, not ownership. I don't deserve you, he whispered. Stop saying that. You have me. That's what matters. I'm going to spend the rest of my life proving I can be the man you need. You already are. I kissed him softly. You're broken. I'm broken. We're broken together. And that's perfect. His laugh was wet. Only you would think broken together is perfect. It is for us. We married 3 weeks later. Small ceremony. Just us and the officiant. No family. No guests. Just two people who'd found each other in darkness and chose to build light together. When Damien slipped the ring on my finger, his hands were shaking. You're mine now, he said. Legally. Officially. Forever. I was always yours. I slid his ring on. This just makes it official. The officiant pronounced us married, and Damien kissed me like I was oxygen. I love you, he whispered against my lips. God, Elijah, I love you so much. I love you too. My husband. My alpha. My everything. We spent our wedding night in the same penthouse where this had all started, where he'd brought me 8 months ago as property. But everything was different now. When Damien touched me, it was with reverence, with love, with choice. Tell me you want this, he said, his body over mine. Tell me you're choosing this. I want this. I'm choosing this. I'm choosing you. He made love to me, not sex, not claiming. Love, slow and gentle and perfect. Everything those first brutal nights hadn't been. And when we lay tangled together after, his hand over my heart, I felt peace. We made it, I whispered. Through everything. We made it. We did. His arms tightened. And we're going to keep making it. Every day. Every moment. Together. Together, I agreed. Month 12, I found the photographs. In Damien's safe. Hidden behind documents and money and guns. Photographs of my father. Richard. From 20 years ago. Richard young and beautiful and laughing. Richard in Damien's arms. Richard looking at Damien like he hung the moon. I stared at them. At this version of my father I'd never known. Happy. In love. Human. Damien found me like that. Sitting on the floor of his office. Surrounded by ghosts. You found them, he said quietly. You kept them. After everything. After the betrayal and the revenge and everything. You kept photographs of him. He sat beside me. Picked up one photo. Richard and Damien on a beach. Both shirtless. Both smiling. I kept them because I needed to remember, Damien said. Needed to remember he was real. That what we had was real. That I wasn't crazy for loving him. Do you still love him? He looked at me. No. I love the memory of who he was. The boy who promised me forever. But that person died long before Richard's body did. The man who left me, who betrayed me, who chose money over love. I don't love that person. I never did. And me? Do you love me, or do you love that I look like him? I love you. His hand cupped my face. Not because you look like him, but because you're nothing like him. You're kind where he was cruel, brave where he was cowardly, loyal where he was faithless. You're everything I thought I wanted in him, but never actually had. Tears slid down my face. I'm not him. I know. Thank God you're not him. He pulled me into his arms. You're Elijah. My Elijah. And that's infinitely better than being Richard's echo. We burned the photographs that night. Let go of the last ghost haunting us. And moved forward. Truly forward. Without the past weighing us down. 1 year after the auction, we stood in the same warehouse. Not as buyer and property. As husbands. As partners. As equals. The auction was happening again. More Omegas being sold. More innocent people having their choices stolen. We're buying them, I said. Watching a boy who couldn't be older than 18 stand on that platform, looking terrified. What? All of them. We're buying every Omega at this auction, and we're setting them free. Damien looked at me. That'll cost millions. We have millions. And this, I gestured at the platform. This is how we make up for it. For what you did to me. For what this place represents. We buy them. Free them. Give them choice. Understanding dawned in his eyes. You want to save them. I want to give them what you eventually gave me. Freedom. Choice. A chance to build a life. His hand found mine. Squeezed. Okay, we'll buy them all. We did. Every single Omega at that auction. 15 people total. Cost us $18 million. But the looks on their faces when we told them they were free, that they could leave, could go anywhere, could choose their own lives, that was priceless. Why? One girl asked. She was 20. Terrified. Why would you buy us just to free us? I looked at Damien, and my husband, at the man who'd bought me for revenge and given me love instead. Because someone gave me a choice when I didn't think I had one, I said. And that choice changed everything. So now I'm giving you the same chance. Choose your life. Choose your future. Choose yourself. She started crying. They all did. And we made sure each one had money. Resources. A safe place to start over. This is what we do now, Damien said that night. In our home. In our bed. We save them. All of them. Every Omega who ends up on that auction block. We buy them. We free them. It'll cost everything. We'll make more. His hand covered mine. Over my stomach. Where our child was growing. Our son or daughter won't grow up in a world where people are bought and sold. We'll make sure of it. I looked at him. At this man who'd started as my worst nightmare and become my greatest love. I love you, I said. For this. For changing. For becoming someone who saves instead of destroys. I love you too. He kissed me softly. You made me better. Made me human again. This is me trying to be worthy of that gift. You already are. Not yet. But I'm getting there. 5 years later, we'd saved 237 Omegas from auctions. Build a network. A foundation. Resources for people who'd been trafficked or sold. Turned Damien's empire from crime to legitimate business. Used his money and power for good instead of destruction. Our daughter was 4. Wild and brilliant and loved. Our son was 2. Quiet and gentle and safe. And we were happy. Genuinely, impossibly happy. Do you ever regret it? I asked one night. We were in bed. Children asleep. House quiet. Regret what? Buying me. Starting all of this. Giving up your revenge. You pulled me closer. Never. That auction was the best thing I ever did. Even if I did it for the wrong reasons. Because you got me. Because I got you. He kissed my temple. And you saved me. From myself. From the emptiness. From becoming the monster I was so close to being. We saved each other. We did. His hand found mine. Our rings catching the moonlight. 2 broken people who found each other in the worst possible way and built something beautiful anyway. Think our kids will understand someday? How we started? I hope so. I hope they understand that love can come from darkness. That redemption is possible. That people can change. They will. Because we'll teach them. Yeah. His arms tightened around me. We will. I fell asleep in his arms. Safe. Loved. Chosen. And I thought about the boy I'd been. Standing on that auction platform. Terrified and alone and certain my life was over. I'd been so wrong. My life hadn't ended that night. It had begun. In the worst possible way. With the worst possible person. For the worst possible reasons. But had begun. And everything that came after, the pain and the breaking and the healing and the love, all of it had led me here. To this moment. This life. This family. To Damien, who bought me for revenge and gave me everything instead. To our children, who would never know a world where love came with conditions. To the hundreds of Omegas we'd saved, who got to choose their own stories. And to myself, who learned that being bought didn't mean being broken. That darkness could lead to light. That love could bloom even in the cruelest soil. I'd survived the auction, survived the revenge, survived the breaking. And I'd done more than survive. I'd learned to live, to love, to choose. And that made all the difference. The end. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this story, Tell us your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Until next time,